Well, I took a tracing of the sound hole and made a template that will fit around the line of the routing I want, sort of thing, to fit this. And I also tried bending the banding I made in here, and it'll obviously bend round okay, so I think we're fine with the thicker banding. With this banding, the problem I'm getting a little bit is that you need to, you can warm it up a little bit to bend it, and to be honest, just your finger heat from your finger is good enough, or just put it in front of a fan heater. But I'm getting a little bit of, if I'm not careful, a bit of separation with it. But providing the slot is okay, I'll be able to push it all in the slot kind of thing, which will hold it together. So we'll go ahead, and first of all I'm going to look for, I'm going to do this with my Dremel sort of thing, but obviously I need a cutter this width kind of thing, so I'm just going to look for see if I've got a router cutter this thick. So there we go. Well, okay, we're getting ready to route this groove around the sound hole. What I've done is, like I say, I made this template, very rough and ready, simple. Now I've glued it to the top of the instrument with the old homemade double-sided tape, basically the masking tape and super glue trick. So there's masking tape on the back of the template, there's masking tape on top of the instrument, glue between them, stuck down. It's been like that for, and it's pretty damn sturdy. So my weapon of choice to cut the slot is like the Dremel with a little router cutter in. I mean, you could do it with a scalpel, but it's going to be a pain in the arse. But I mean, this is okay, does a good job sort of thing, so we'll try and get on with this and see how we get on. What I should say is that you don't need a bearing guided thing on this. You can get away with a one-use sort of simple template kind of thing that will do the trick, because the shaft of the router cutter will be a good guide, or hopefully. So let's see how it goes. Well, I'm about halfway round there now. I won't recall doing the rest of it. What I do is tend to hold the router at an angle to kind of lift it up, lift the cutter up. So I just take a light cut the first time and then slowly angle it back and back and back till I'm at full depth. I think I'm at a bit of a disadvantage because these little router cutters I've got are really old and they're probably past their best. So if I try and do the cut all in one, I end up burning the wood, which I don't want to do. So I'm just taking light feather cuts, and that way, if you know it's not going to work, you can stop before you make too much of a disaster of it. But we seem to be okay, but I'll bring you back when it's done and you can see the result. Well, you can see the result of that. Perfectly satisfactory sort of thing. I'm sure if I had a sharper router cutter, it would look a bit neater than that, but I mean there's nothing wrong with that. So we can get on and fit the banding in there. The unfortunate thing is I didn't have a wide enough router cutter sort of thing to do the thickness I wanted for the banding, which is a bit of a pain, but oh well, stage one done, and I mean that won't quite fit in there sort of thing. The thinner stuff will, so yeah, I'm gonna have to decide what I want to do now basically. I mean I can, you know, make it slightly wider anyway, that's no problem by hook or by crook, maybe with I mean it's only got to go a tad wider sort of thing, and that will fit in then. So yeah, coffee time I think, and but that's quite successful, isn't it, I think, so that's quite good. I actually do like a handmade look to the rosettes. I don't know, I've just got this thing about liking them quite untidy rather than sort of laser cut and perfect sort of thing, but you know, that's just me because I can't do a decent one. So anyway, we'll get weaving and we'll go from there. Well, hi there again. I've just made the slot a little bit wider. I mean, you can do this with just a scalpel and spend a long time doing it, or I mean, I actually use the Dremel like freehand just to widen it on the inside edge there. It's surprisingly easily controllable. I mean, you'd think it would be like a disaster waiting to happen, but it's not. You can just like kiss the side of the, you know, the edge you want to make wider, and you know, it's very, very controllable. And the only thing I'd say is make sure you buy a Dremel or a Proxen, I think, do an equivalent quality tool. If you buy one of the cheap ones for 25 quid or something, forget it, don't even go there, they're so out of balance. So now you can see this fits in really nice in there, so you've got a good chance of I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually fit this, see what it looks like, because it's actually quite a difficult job to do, and if this goes in really nicely and looks nice, I'm tempted just to leave it as that. If I feel confident, I might do something more fancy on the inside of it, but at the moment I'm just going to fit this and see what it looks like. And what I'm going to do is try and get it all in there and then just flood it with super glue sort of thing, and then that will stick it all in. Okie doke. I might show you a little bit of this. I mean, it literally is just pushing something in a hole. One of the ways of bending it is that you can just warm it in your mouth actually, and just like you can feel the glue getting a bit soft, and bends quite well, and you can see how flexible that is now. it up, or you can warm it up in the front of your fan heater, which I've got here. It just like softens the glue just a fraction. Plan B. Well, now we can actually fit the ring in. You know, like I say, you can heat it, bend it. It helps to heat it up, but you can see it has a tendency to delaminate, but that's not a problem. But I've been round now. It should be quite an easy job just to push in place here. There we go, we've got that ring in now, ready to, what I'll do now is I'll just go around with super glue, and I'm not going to, I don't take it out again, I'll just sort of run a rim of super glue around the edges sort of thing, and then once that's dry we can sand it down. I'll have a look what it looks like, and then decide whether I want to do anything more fancy kind of thing. You know, like I say, put the joint underneath the neck, and you've got no worries with it being visible sort of thing, so you don't have to make a stellar job of the joint. But we'll just flood some super glue around it now. Yeah, so we'll just leave that dry now, and then sand it level, and see what kind of job we've made of it. I mean, it looks okay to me, kind of thing. I mean, it's such a small hole that it's going to be difficult getting anything out there. I mean, it really makes you appreciate, you know, the guys that you know, in the old days who used to do this sort of thing without the aid of all the modern gizmos and gadgets you've got these days to help. It's just amazing. But anyway, we'll see what that will look like when it's done. I have a feeling it's a bit plain. Like I say, I don't want to put another one round the outside of this because these edges have got quite a curve on them, and I don't want to go down the curve or anything. That's as wide as I want to go, and yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I was thinking that on the inside I could do something fancy, and then we'll see what it comes out like. Anyway, yep. Well, okay, I've done this part of this rosette thing around the sound hole, and I have to say I'm not really happy with it personally. Here it is. It's a bit too messy for my liking. I mean, all my inlay work in the past really has been with darker wood that you can fill afterwards, sort of thing, which I guess is cheating, but I think I'll fall short with this thing. I mean, as a whole, when you look at the instrument, you know, the whole thing, kind of think, oh, it's okay, but when you look at it closely, it's a bit messy, and I'm not happy with it, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do. A bit more embellishment might help or something. You know, I just don't like the way perhaps using super glue to glue it in was the wrong thing, because it's just made the wood look messy around the edge, but yeah, I'm going to have to do some more work on that. I'm not pleased with that, so that's a bit disappointing. I've spent all that time on it, but hey ho, you'll learn as you go. So yeah, we'll see what else I can do with it. I think, you know, as well as looking like, you know, you can see it there, as well as looking a bit like a bit messy, it's also a bit plain, so maybe something to make it look a bit more fussy would detract it, you know, would disguise it a little bit more. So I'll work, I mean, the original was a bit more fancy sort of thing, so see what I can work at with it, kind of thing. So yeah, that's a bit disappointing, but we'll see where we get with it, with a plan B kind of thing. Yeah, not happy, but let's see what we can do. Well, welcome back to 3R Guitars and this Lyre build. Yeah, I've spent so long sanding it now, and in the last video I was doing the rosette around the sound hole, and I think I concluded that with saying that I just wasn't happy with it, really. I think probably I made a few mistakes, mainly using the probably the super glue around the edge. I mean, inlaying I've done before has been in dark wood, and you can get away with murder with that. And obviously my rather crude efforts at doing the inlay didn't yield the best results. But so what I did over the all yesterday afternoon and this morning, I've been doing some more fancy inlay around it. It's not accurate stuff, but I think it just gives it a bit more of a jumbled look, and disguises the fact that it's a bit shit, to be honest. So anyway, this is what I've done. You can see there that I've put these dark wood triangles in it. A really fiddly little job. Not something that anybody could do, really, I guess. I mean, it's just a scalpel, cut a load of little veneer triangles, you know, gouge out triangular shaped holes and stick them in, sort of thing. It just took ages, and I think it's looking a lot better now, just getting that fussiness in there, sort of thing. I mean, it's not accurate stuff, but you know, it serves a purpose to distract the eye from some pretty shabby inlay work. The bits I'm not super keen on are like these stains, just little stains in the wood down here, and it doesn't, I guess it's really a lot better now, but around here it looks a bit untidy. I'm quite happy with it round there, but it's far from perfect. And what I think I might do is, one of the little cheats you can do is do like I've done it before, where you want a dark thin line that looks like an inlay. Just use a biro, draw it on with a biro, and then lacquer over it, sort of thing. No one can tell the difference. And I might go round the perimeter with a biro and see how that works, sort of thing. I'm going to get some finish on it before I do that. But anyway, the upshot is, I have to confess I'm getting a little tiresome with the build now, just because I've been doing so much sanding, spending ages doing that. I think I need a bit of a pick-me-up. So I think the next thing I'm going to do, I mean, I could spend another 5 days sanding the body, sort of thing, but what I'm going to do now is glue the neck on, just to give me a bit of a boost, kind of thing. Obviously I can't sand the neck joint flush until the next neck joint's on anyway, so if I stick it on now, it's going to give me a little bit of encouragement, I think, and yeah, then I can get on with the build thinking, oh, it's a complete instrument at last, sort of thing. But so let's get on and do that. You can see that I haven't bothered doing the triangles underneath where the fretboard goes, and it's pretty untidy there. No one will ever see it. But I had a little practice go cutting out a triangular hole there, sort of thing, that you won't see. But so anyway, let's see about the neck. I think the first, the neck joint is really good anyway, but what I might do is just make some bits of wood to go either side of the headstock in there, so it's guaranteed central in there, and then stick it on. I mean, the tip back angle is all done. Everything is pretty good. I think the only thing I remember when I did it was that I seemed to get a little gap. I mean, this side, there's not a gap at all in that landing on the body there. This side, for some reason, I made another little error. I've got like a little gap, and I didn't want to do any further shaving on the neck, because it's exactly where it should be. So I'll just have to put a little veneer in there, kind of thing. So that's no bother though. But let's get on anyway. Oh, hi there. Very easy job getting the neck positioned. I think you can see what I've done there. I've just made 2 blocks exactly the same width. Worked out it was 13mm to get the headstock dead in the centre of the Lyre arms there. Everything seemed to work out, because I mean, we made quite a, we did quite a good job of doing the neck joint anyway. And I've just plonked the bridge on, and I've come up here, and with the action you'll need on the strings, probably the bridge is absolutely perfect height, because I mean, there's got to be some string slots cut in the bridge anyway. I might have to file a little bit off the feet there, but nothing that's not within adjustment, sort of thing. So I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, and we'll get on and glue the neck in now. I've just spent a fraction of a time just cleaning up little hairy bits of wood off, but I thought, well, I'll video myself gluing the neck in, as it's quite a major part. You don't want to glue the back of the dovetail joint there, just basically the contact areas, which is the sides, the flare of the dovetail around the body sort of thing, and the top. So I mean, I think the idea with these things is that you're meant to sort of be able to get them loose if necessary. I mean, the general rule is with archtop guitars, at some point the neck joint is going to slip over time with the tension of the strings. I mean, the glue is very heat sensitive sort of thing. So you know, you play the instrument in the summer, you know, you've left it in the warm or something, and the glue softens a little bit, the neck slips. It's kind of a well-known thing with archtop guitars, that does happen. So you don't want to go epoxy in the neck in or anything. Don't really want tons of glue on it either, but I can't help myself sometimes. Right. Da, 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 da. I marked my little spacers left and right. They're the same width, but I want them to go back in exactly the same place. To be honest, I don't think I even need to clamp it, but glad you could follow me through that bit, because it's like does feel like I feel a bit happier now anyway. It's a major part of the guitar build, a very satisfying sort of thing. We'll just need one clamp on this. That's the advantage if you've spent a lot of time doing the neck joint and getting it right. You know, you're not struggling with setup and of the joint or anything. So this will just do fine, just to hold it in place. One of these squashy clamps. Oh, that's brilliant. There we go. Major part of the guitar build now. I feel, like I said, I was feeling a bit pissed off with the sanding and this rosette thing round there. So it's nice to do something where you get a big result, and yeah, it's looking quite cute now, isn't it? I think so. Really looking forward to getting to play it, sort of thing. So don't know what will happen next, but we're going to leave that there now. And well, I do know what's going to happen next. Another month of Sunday sanding, but yeah, we've got that far, and that's a major plus. So great stuff. Thank you for watching, and next time you see it, we'll be getting more sandpaper over it. And there we go. So rock and roll, keep playing and keep building. Well, as I was saying yesterday, I guess I've had my quick gratification fix kind of thing. Getting the neck glued on yesterday was a bit of a major stepping stone, and at least it makes me less depressed about having to do days of sanding kind of thing. So the neck glued on fine. I mean, it's really important to get the neck joint accurate, so when you glue it, you're not messing about with shims of bits of wood you're trying to get in and get it angled, because once you get the clamps on it you can't really do any measurement afterwards. So if you remember, I put 2 bits of equally spaced wood either side there to make sure the neck was central at the top, and then everything else was you know, really dictated by the neck joint being good, and you have to spend the time doing that. I mean, if you look now, you know, we've got a good joint there. My intention is to put like a fancy bit of wood over that's kind of typical with instruments. But yeah, so that all went really well. And like I say, if you ever find yourself in the same place as that, basically, you know, spend a good few hours on the neck joint, it will save you a lot of grief. And I think now even the rosette that I was unhappy with looks nicer. So yeah, we're all good with it now, I think. It's just going to be sanding. What I want to do next is, you remember that I when I made this thing to get the hooks on for the strings, I actually extended them in little additional plates to make it all stronger on the back. So this now needs to fit on there, but of course there's a gap, so I can't just put it on. So what I'm going to do is position the tailpiece and then do a bit of a recess cutting in there, so the plate will lay flat. And what I want to do is project the line of the edge of the neck back to here, and hopefully it'll coincide with the joint in there on there. But I mean, it's going to be a little bit out, isn't it? Let's face it. But the tailpiece covers most of the joint anyway, and I think visually you won't. Well, it covers all but like the bottom millimetre of it. So we've got a bit of wiggle room with that. I mean, making an instrument like this, if you got the, yeah, you'd see what I mean. You only have to have the neck like 1/4 degree out, and it shifts down here, kind of thing, quite dramatically. So we'll get position in the tailpiece and go from there. I'll get back to you then.